All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Again, just a reminder to everyone present, we're going to try to get through our agenda as quickly as possible due to tonight's weather, so bear with us if it seems a little rushed. Ms. Perry, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Berry.
Here.
Vice Mayor Dalton.
Here.
Commissioner Fairbanks.
Here.
Commissioner Phillips.
Here.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Here.
For our moment of silence, or for today's invocation, please join me in a moment of silence to reverently collect our thoughts, pray, and ready ourselves for this meeting and the duties to which we have been called. Thank you. Mr. Granum, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we have consideration of the minutes for approval or correction for the March 19th work session. Any corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve as written? We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips.
I'll second.
We have a second. I like the energy, guys. Good energy. Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, for the March 19th commission meeting, any corrections? Do I motion to approve as written?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Dalton. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Finally, minutes for budget workshop number 1. Any corrections? Do I have a motion to approve as written?
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. For my mayor's report today, I wanted to say thank you to all the volunteers who came out to Waterway's green infrastructure maintenance of our rain gardens at the Red Bank Community Center last weekend. You can help support Waterway's mission of empowering communities to protect and restore our waterways by attending their upcoming annual fundraiser, Save Water, Drink Wine, this Saturday, April 6th. You can also shop at Gear Closet or donate to them. They sell used outdoor gear right here in Red Bank on Signal Mountain Boulevard across from Baylor School. Kudos to our Public Works team for the new gazebo, playground, sand, and mulch at Kids Corner. They are looking fabulous and already being enjoyed by our community. I don't think I will be the only one to remind you not to miss our first Food Truck Friday of the year. This Friday, April 5th, food trucks this week include The Bistro, Windy City Eats, Culturelicious, Joyful Hearts Cafe, Final Girl Vegan Food, and Freaky Funnels. Thank you to our city manager, Martin Granum, and consultant, Ms. Waycaster, for hosting our first Budget 101 session last week. And thank you to all who attended, and especially those who asked many excellent questions to learn more about how your tax dollars are budgeted, invested, and returned to you in a diverse array of city services. If you missed it, you can always catch up on the recording on the city's YouTube channel. And I hope many of you will be able to continue attending our budget workshops and regular meetings every Tuesday in April. Don't miss the opportunity to vote for a Red Bank business. Pizzeria Cortile is a semi-finalist for the TVFCU Ideal Leap Grant. The deadline to vote is this Friday the 5th at 5 p.m. So vote before then. Each person can only vote once, so your vote really counts. They had 300 applicants and there were only 9 semifinalists. So Pizzeria Cortile, Red Bank Business, has a great shot at this. Last year it was awarded to a Red Bank business, Decaffeinated. So let's keep this on a roll. Finally, the next Red Bank Community Food Pantry is this Thursday, April 4th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. You can sign up to volunteer at their Sign Up Genius at redbankfoodpantry.org. And now we have our report from Vice Mayor Dalton.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I also wanted to thank everyone who came out to our first budget workshop. I thought it was really informational. Thank you, Mr. Granum and Ms. Waycaster for hosting that and leading that. Lots of great questions. I do really encourage you, if you were not able to attend, to watch it online. There were some really great questions asked by folks in the audience. I think that helped clarify how the budget process works and all of that. And as the mayor said, our next budget workshop number 2 is next Tuesday, April the 9th, 5 to 7:30 p.m. And we'll hear presentations from police, fire, and courts departments, correct? Okay. So hope to see you all there. And if you came to the first one, and if you come to the next 3, remember you get that special budget certificate from the city. And yes, this Friday, 5:30 to 8:30, I just wanted to add the time for the Food Truck Friday. So hope to see you all there. I unfortunately have another event that I'm attending, but we'll definitely be at many future Food Truck Fridays. In partnership with the Chattery, the city of Red Bank is offering Arts for Older Adults classes at the Red Bank Community Center. You can register to attend one or both remaining classes on April 8th and April 29th. The classes are from 2 to 4 p.m. and you can go to eventbrite.com and search the Chattery to get signed up. The next Hive Think event, Hive Think Becaffeinated Coffee Break event is at the AIM Center Clubhouse on April 12th from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. And this is centered on businesses, creatives, and anybody who's interested in getting connected with others in the community. McCamey is hosting a free vaccine and pet care clinic on April 13th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Mac Care Center. Services are on a first come, first served basis, and they include vaccines, microchips, pet food, and basic pet supplies. But they are only guaranteed for the first 100 pets. So if you are really, truly in need, make sure you get there early. Our Red Bank Earth Day cleanup is on April 20th. From 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in partnership with Green Steps and Becaffeinated. You can go to greensteps.com/events to get signed up. From our local schools, congratulations to Red Bank Elementary on being awarded the Grow More Good Grassroots Grant for their Learning Garden and Culinary program. They were one of only 3 schools in Tennessee awarded the grant out of 170 total awards across the nation. And as you're doing spring cleaning at home, I hope you'll consider donating any relevant items to our schools to support their care closets. I did write about this in our newsletter, but I do have some specific needs that the schools told me about that I wanted to share with you all. Rivermont has needs for solid colored and non-hooded sweatshirts and tennis shoes in all sizes. Red Bank Middle School needs girls' jeans sizes medium through extra large, boys' jeans sizes 34, 32, and 38, 32, and bulk packages of chapstick. And Red Bank High School needs larger sized pants, larger sized underwear for females, low socks, period products, and hair products for African-American students. And if you don't have any items that you can donate, you can always make a monetary donation to the school and specify that your donation is to support the care closet needs for students and their families. And that's it for me.
Next, we have our report from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey.
Good evening. I hope everybody celebrated a nice Easter, whether it was sunrise service, church, or with family. 2 noted events that have been mentioned is the second budget workshop next Tuesday, and that the Food Truck Friday will be this Friday, the 1st for the season. The festival committee has been meeting and we'll have 2 more meetings on April 17th as we bring on Sandra, and May 1st before the event will be May 4th on Saturday from 10 to 4, the festival. Next Listen and Learn will be held Monday, April 15th, 2024 at Sabor, Dayton Boulevard from 6 to 7 p.m. This offers residents a chance to communicate their concerns and have conversation about our city. Thank you.
Next, we have a report from Commissioner Phillips.
Told you I was going to keep it short. Would like to thank you all for coming here. And that concludes, I have no reports. Thank you very much.
And next, we have a report from Commissioner Wilkins.
All right, real quick. I wanted to congratulate White Oak Bicycle Co-op on a strong Q1. They donated 115 bikes back into the community. They had 13 safety education programs with 1,032 participants. So
Whoa.
pretty amazing community outreach for just the first part of the year. I wanted to thank Food City for their Easter egg hunt in store. We sort of happened upon it, and my son Wright had a wonderful time running around the grocery store. So glad. Thank you, Food City. That was a fun morning. And then I also wanted to thank Hamilton County 911 telecommunicators that I talked to yesterday. I was maybe had the misfortune of being the first on the scene of an accident that happened right in front of me. Thankfully, the two drivers were okay, but it was serious enough to call. And in my short conversation with Hamilton County 911, they answered with poise. They were incredibly professional, got exactly the information that they needed from me, and got help on the scene quickly. So weirdly timely with the later resolution, but it was pretty wild. And that's my report. So thank you guys for coming out, and we'll try to move through this thing quickly so we can all get home dry.
Next, we have our report from our city manager, Mr. Martin Granum.
Thank you, Mayor. Everything I has been covered, and I'll toss to our Director of Administration and Director of Human Resources for an update on that front.
The recruitment for the Chief Financial Officer opens on April 7th, and it will run through May 21st. They can put their application in through our website, and they can just mail it to us with their resume. We're also having accepting fire captain applications April 7th through April 17th. There'll be an internal and external job recruitment. And we have 2 labor ones that will be starting in public works later this month.
Excellent news, HR Director. Thank you. All right, we have no unfinished business today, so we'll move right into new business. First up is Resolution 24-1674, a resolution by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, to proclaim April 14 through 20, 2024 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Mr. Granum.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'll note, Mr. Carney, come on up and you can stand with me as I read this. For those who are just joining us, we had an outstanding presentation from the Director of Hamilton County 911, Jeff Carney, who's standing beside me. And if it's all right with you, Mayor, I'll read the formal proclamation.
Please.
Thank you, ma'am. A resolution by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee to proclaim April 14 through 20, 2024 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of law enforcement, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our public officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone or text the Hamilton County Unified Emergency Communication Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas during the calendar year 2023, Hamilton County telecommunicators aided Red Bank first responders by promptly receiving and expertly directing a total of 12,859 calls in Red Bank for assistance, of which 1,600 were related to fire and 11,259 were related to police. And whereas the public safety telecommunicators of the Hamilton County Unified Emergency Communication Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each public safety telecommunicator has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job every day. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Commissioners of Red Bank, Tennessee hereby proclaim the week of April 14 through 20, 2024 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. and join in honoring the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. Resolved the second day of April 2024.
All right. Well, to make it official, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments? Oh, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for all you do.
Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Happy National Telecommunicators Week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carney, for being with us today.
Here's your opportunity.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
Commission, would it be okay if everybody came down and we'll get a picture of Director Carney?
Sorry, buddy.
Come on down, commissioners, and we'll get all of you with the Red Bank seal right behind you.
Remember anything that Gorham used for 911
Over.
Come on in just a little bit.
prior to 1993.
There we are. Okay. Got it, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Travel safe. Good luck tonight. All right. Next item of business is Resolution 24-1675, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending Resolution 23-1639, appointing up to 10 members to the City of Red Bank Cemetery Citizens Advisory Board. Mr. Granum.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just be brief here. We are appointing one new member, Emily Crouch, and she was introduced at the work session. And we also want to recognize our outstanding Cemetery Advisory Board Chair, Sal Rigo Jr. They were both here at the work session. And announcement, there is still one spot open. So if anybody's interested in serving on the Superstar Committee, there's still a spot.
And there's a public work day on April 24th.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you.
April 27th. Thank you, Vice Mayor. All right, I hope to see you all there. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution 24-1676, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending Resolution 24-1668 and appointing one member to the City of Red Bank Festival Citizens Advisory Board. Mr. Deputy Director Johnson, thank you.
Very much. Earlier, we were introduced to Sandra Fagan. She is coming on board to the festival committee, and it leaves us one vacancy.
All right, we have one more, and we have that festival Red Bank Jubilee quickly approaching Saturday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I hear a
I'll
second?
second it.
We have a second from Commissioner Phillips. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? Thank you, Ms. Fegans, for being willing to serve and for joining us today. If there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution 24-1677, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, appointing James F. Exum III to serve as the Administrative Hearing Officer for the City of Red Bank and to approve a memorandum of understanding for the Administrative Hearing Officer Services. Deputy Director Johnson.
Thank you very much. This is continuing our contractual relationship with Mr. Exum, who has served as the city's administrative hearing officer since his last contract was implemented back in 2018.
All right. Thank you very much, Deputy Director. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion?
I do have just one question really quick. If you could, Ms. Johnson, could you let us know what his hourly rate was adjusted from in what we said at 2018 to what it is today and how that was calculated?
Correct. Under his 2018 MOU, it was at $250 per hour for the activity. Again, taking a look at bringing that up to current numbers, that cost of inflation was rounded out to $310 an hour, and that is something that Mr. Exum did agree to.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And I have a question. What does he do?
Good question.
What's the role?
So he is what typically in the past, if you had for an example, we had a condemned structure, something that was just beyond repair and was posing a health safety risk to the public. Rather than take that to what we would previously identify as city court, this is an actual administrative hearing officer. It is third party, it is neutral to allow a property owner to be heard. So depending, that's probably one of the worst examples to look at. But when we have repeat property code violations, that does tend to be more so on the docket than not. Whether that is property maintenance, it could be dilapidated structures on the property, it could be abandoned vehicles. We have a process. That's not our first go-to. Our first approach is to obviously open communications with the property owner to find out what's going on. Sometimes you may have issues that no one is aware of until we open that door of conversation. Give them plenty of time to remedy the issue. Sometimes it's connecting them with viable resources that they didn't realize existed. Again, that becomes our next layer of remedy a property issue.
Thank you.
And one more thing, if I can, I think what we talked about a few days ago was that potentially you all were going to look at setting like a quarterly meeting schedule, and then, all of the, citations that have been escalated to that point would be heard on,
Correct.
every 3 months or something like that.
More information on that, and I'm happy to identify it tonight. But as we move forward to our fiscal year starting in July 1, that's when we really start to take a little bit deeper dive into code enforcement.
Okay.
And yes, establishing a regular quarterly set date. Historically, I think the practice was to accumulate potential violations for efficiency. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you accumulate, the first one tends to get a little bit more leeway versus if someone happened to be on, the short end of that. So we're trying to allow opportunities for our code enforcement officer to have a set schedule to a target date.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Ms. Johnson? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present?
I have a question.
Please come forward.
You'll have to come up to
Does the court, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please come up to the podium and give your name and address for the record.
My name is Ann Wheeler. I live at 427 Antelope Trail. Does the court not hear both sides of an issue?
Ms. Johnson, do you feel comfortable answering that?
Administrative hearing officer, is that what you're asking?
No, when you said these violations, go to the court,
The administrative hearing officer.
okay? Do they not hear both sides?
That's absolutely, yes.
Okay,
The property
so-
owner is summoned to appear before the
Okay.
administrative hearing officer, correct?
But this is the administrative hearing officer.
Himself, yes.
Okay,
We have
so
to enter-
he's not the judge at the court.
Correct.
He's another middleman.
He's another freestanding entity by statute. Tennessee code actually
Okay.
defines who actually does the administrative hearing officer for code violations.
Okay.
Private property issues.
I understand. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Wheeler. Any other comments from the residents present? All right, if there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last item on our agenda, ordinance number 24-1257, an ordinance of the city of Red Bank, Tennessee to amend the fiscal year 2024 operating budget beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024, in order to appropriate unbudgeted expenditures and grant funding in the amount of $60,628. First reading. Ms. Perry.
This is simply to appropriate the budget for the Violent Crimes Intervention Fund grant that we received and the expenditures that will go to officer salaries.
Thank you very much. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion?
May I ask, can you I think maybe just there's some new people who don't understand what a budget amendment is. Could you just touch on that just a little bit about what this is for? This is because we didn't budget. We don't know when we're going to receive grant funds.
Right, so when we receive, especially large sums of money, or we have to spend large sums of money that we didn't account for in the previous budget, we have to amend the budget to appropriate for those fundings, just, I don't know if there's another word for it.
But in the case of large grant funds, as the vice mayor said, if we don't know when those funds might necessarily arrive, we can't,
Right, we can't
Even if
budget
we-
for it,
even if we expect that they're coming, we can't put it in the budget yet.
we cannot budget for them until we actually have them.
And Mayor, could I ask, answer a little bit more too?
Go ahead.
Throughout the year, we always seek permission from the commission to apply for a grant.
Mhm.
Then it's a commission action to accept the grant, and those are two actions that are just for the grant itself. Then the budget is yet a third step. And so asking permission and receiving the grant is all about the grant, whatever the intent of the grant is, whether it's Tennessee American to clean up Stringer's Ranch, or in this case, the Violent Crimes Intervention Fund for the state. They all have a similar process where we come to the commission, ask to apply for the grant, and then come to the commission to accept the grant. And then ultimately, all those separate actions have to land in the budget, so that the budget itself, at the end of the year, encompasses all the money in and all the money out. So the fact that we're doing a budget amendment actually is a healthy thing. It's the way you get a clean audit report. So when the auditor comes along, the budget document itself accommodated all the money in and all the money out, even the things that weren't anticipated when the budget was originally adopted earlier in the fiscal year.
As we've said many times in our John Alexander's tenure, a sign of budget excellence.
It is indeed, yes, ma'am.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
I
Any
have-
further? Go ahead.
Excuse me, Mayor. How many officer salaries are included with this?
Just one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, then Ms. Perry, will you call the roll for us?
Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Motion carries on first reading. We'll have a second reading at our next meeting. We have now reached the comments for citizen, we have now reached the time for citizen comments for items not on the agenda. Mr. Granum?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time for citizen comments. Please observe these rules for citizen comments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and the city recorder will operate the timer visible on the dais. Please respect her direction and conclude any comments if time expires. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole and not to a particular commissioner, city staff, or the audience. The commission is here to listen, not to respond or engage in back and forth, so please do not expect a reply during public comment. At this time, citizens are invited to the podium to comment. Please begin by stating your name and address.
Rick Tweed, 120 Sweetland Drive. Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for your time tonight. One of the things that's on my mind with this being an election year, commissioners, is campaign finance. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's one of the reasons that we started an organization in 2023 in response to in 2022, for the first time ever, we saw outside money funneling into Red Bank to finance Red Bank commission seats. Historically, Red Bank has always had nonpartisan elections, and what was special about this money coming from outside of Red Bank into Red Bank was that this was partisan. This was coming from the Hamilton County Republican Party. In response to this, myself and other neighbors thought, you know, what can we do to form some sort of committee to make sure that people who live in Red Bank's voices could be heard at the same volume as these organizations from outside of Red Bank. That's called a political action committee. So we formed a political action committee called Red Bank Forward. We have about 25 paying members. There's been some speculation lately that this could be some kind of nefarious money coming from outside of Red Bank, that it could be somehow connected to the sum of $13 billion from Act Blue. There's been a lot of speculation. So anyways, I just wanted to come and introduce myself as the membership director for Red Bank Forward. Many of your platforms in the past have aligned with our values. There's a good chance we may be reaching out to support you at some point. We obviously haven't at all in the past because we formed in 2023. But if you do have any if your constituents reach out with questions, concerns about this organization, I'm again the membership director. Most of you you should all have my email by now. You can direct them to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pertwee. Any other comments for items not on this agenda?
Kathy Lemon, 401 Christmas Street. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend. It was absolutely gorgeous. Which brings me to my topic. With this gorgeous weather, although it's going to get cold again, but with this beautiful weather, outside, walking in the yard, I'm a walker, and I just really want to thank everybody's hard work on the sidewalks. We have a walkable community, and it's amazing. However, I live on Chrisman and Lamar, and how many people are guilty of turning on one of the side streets and all of a sudden you're going 30 to 35 miles an hour? I am. So I look at dang, I gotta slow down. We have so many people that don't slow down. And it really does make me nervous because there's so many kids out right now. There's me outside right now. I know you're pushing your child out right now. You've got little ones, but I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know how to solve that problem. Like I said, I'm on the corner of Lamar and Chrisman. There's a stop sign. That stop sign, I have an office in my home. I can sit there and watch 5 cars a day just plow through that stop sign. I don't know what to do about it. It's just a concern of mine. The other concern of mine is beautiful right now, so everything's wet, blooming. And there's a couple of intersections that have really big, beautiful trees, which I love, but you can't see when you pull up. And then one of them specifically, because I'm a big decaffeinated coffee drinker, but when I'm coming out of that parking lot onto Chrisman, I can't see because of the big shrubs sitting right there. Do I want to cut it down? No, but I don't want anybody to get hurt. Those are just a few concerns. And then there's a couple of intersections that are really, really dangerous. On Morrison Springs, Lamar again, there's the gas station, there's whatever that fast food, Hardy. There was a wreck there last week. I don't even go out that way anymore. You just can't. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It bothers me because of Red Bank High School and all the students that are traveling up and down Morrison Springs Road. I don't know if there could be a study to figure out what we can do to make that little place a little bit safer. I mean, it's a great problem because we're growing. And so the traffic is like coming off of 27. It's crazy right there. But I'm just asking if everybody with this springtime, summertime, people are out, put your foot on the brake just a little bit and make sure you're going 25 miles an hour in our neighborhoods. I just think it's so important. It's, slow down. I'm guilty, as I said, but I think if we all kind of do our due diligence, it will help our community stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lennon. Well timed, too. Any other comments for items not on tonight's agenda? If there are no more comments, then do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all, and all of you get home safe.